Hello folks, how you doing? My name is Don Shanahan, and this is Every Movie Has a Lesson. That is my film review website where I review movies from a teacher's point of view with life lessons in mind, because in my opinion, every movie can teach a lesson, whether it's serious, farcical, or otherwise. Got a new movie classroom review for you. That's kind of what I'm calling these ShowMe videos. I like to thank the app for being such a kind of a fun way of doing this. Let's get right into it. Alright folks, today I'm trying to catch up after seeing an advanced screening for The Edge of Tomorrow. I've been called many times on my website a Tom Cruise apologist. I do like his work, I do like his movies. I can separate the man from the persona, I guess I should say, where I know he kind of carries himself in a certain way off screen that most people either like or don't like or just are completely repulsed by. But when the guy is, I say this before in my reviews and I'll say it again, there are certain things Tom Cruise as a movie star just does right. And action movies and this kind of thing are one of them. Edge of Tomorrow is kind of a science fiction film set in the near future, directed by Doug Limone. He's kind of your director of The Bourne Identity and Jumper, so he's kind of hit or miss himself. This movie's been getting outstanding reviews from Rotten Tomatoes, where it's kind of tracking in the 90% range, which is rare for one, the director, and two, for even Tom Cruise lately, where he's made a lot of good, solid films lately. I really enjoyed The Last Mission Impossible. I really liked Oblivion last year. I thought Jack Reacher did just fine recently. I mean, I think he's on a good, solid roll. Nothing's a down and out, out of the ballpark kind of home run blockbuster, but he continues to make solid films at honestly an advanced age for being a guy in his prime. I mean, people forget the guy is 50 years old. So, Tom Cruise is a winner here. I have to kind of add to the other reviews for Edge of Tomorrow. It's quite a zany but entertaining and unexpectedly funny action kind of blockbuster. This is kind of that summer movie we've kind of been waiting for. I said it in my last review for Chef in terms of talking about summer blockbusters, but Amazing Spider-Man is kind of a downer. Godzilla is kind of overly serious. Even X-Men has its moments where it's a little thick. You get to this movie and it's just flat out fun. It's as interesting as it is preposterous, though, I will say that. It has a really weird angle of time travel where the guy you've seen in the trailers where Tom Cruise repeats the same day, which ends up being a battle against these alien mimics in terms of who are invading the Earth. So you'll need a lot of grain of salt, but the movie really does deliver in a very fun, light, entertaining way. It still takes itself seriously. I think the most unique thing about it is we're so used to seeing Tom Cruise play the man of action and the cocky guy in charge. In this movie, he plays the coward. He plays the guy that actually has to be turned into a soldier. He's not your ass kicker. That's Emily Blunt, his co-star, who kind of plays the lead female and the lead warrior special forces person against this army. Together, they kind of use their repeated chances to figure out how to beat this invasion, obviously by doing it through time travel to prevent it before it happens. Like I said, the movie is, I'll admit, it's kind of all over the place. I'll admit it's not for everyone. I admit there's a lot of eye rolls, but I still have to kind of give it its props. It really does entertain. It's a lot of fun. If you're looking for a good summer blockbuster, or if you haven't seen anything good from Tom Cruise in a while, you might have a winner here. I probably overvalue it, but I gave this movie 4 out of 5. This is a solid flick. I gave Oblivion a 4 out of 5 last year. I thought that was a good, more dramatic and head-scratching kind of thing, but I thought it was a darn good flick where I was just impressed by what Tom Cruise can do. I think he's a fine actor. Like I said before, I know it's a disclaimer, but the guy can deliver, and this is the kind of stuff he's good at. Let's get over to the lessons. Alright, folks, lesson number 1 is coming into your own as a soldier. Coming into your own as a soldier. Like I said, Tom Cruise's character here is the coward, is the blackmailer, is the guy who wants nothing to do with the front line of the battlefield. By having the twist of this time travel thing happen to him, it gets to the point where he has to become that man of action that he isn't expecting to be. Thank goodness he occupies the body of Tom Cruise, but there is kind of a definite second act here where he kind of he's turned into a fighter. He's turned into a real warrior. His repeating training and improvement helps him come into his own. His fears slip away. He accepts his role that he can do to win this battle. He gets better every chance he gets. There's definitely a fun quality to watching him screw up and have this repetition and eventually kind of really show off that he can get it right. So it's a fun progression. The movie, I have to admit, really moves well in terms of pace. It's not overly long. It's not, I mean, don't get me wrong, plenty of things are kind of glazed over and skipped in terms of logic, but the movie moves well. It does feel a little bit like Groundhog Day. I think it borrows just as much from a movie like Source Code from 2011 by Duncan Jones, as much as it borrows from Groundhog Day, but the repetitions are done in a unique, good way. I think it keeps moving really well. Lesson number 2 kind of speaks to the challenge of what he has to do with his time loop, and that is making the most, as usual, bear with me, making the most of a limited amount of time. Tom Cruise can only figure out what he can figure out in the space of time it takes him not to die. By having every single part of this of his loop being thrust into the same beach battle you see in the trailers, in which the entire human resistance forces get slaughtered very, very quickly, he does not have a lot of time before the next kind of thing is upon him, whatever it happens to be, the new challenge to get out of, or the new thing to figure out to get out of this loop, and where it's not just the fact where he dies and he fails, but everyone else fails too. So he has to make the most of a limited amount of time in terms of being able to catch on to details, make quicker decisions, have smarter actions, make tactical adjustments, have that awareness for everything that's around him, because whatever he picks up on, he can then use when he gets back to the other time. The trial and error aspect, like I said, adds to the kind of the time travel repetition here. There's an efficiency to it where I do say it is fun. I do say it does move in a fun way. It definitely makes for the entertaining part. And once you get kind of a partner in crime in there with Emily Blunt, it does create a unique kind of partner situation, which feels a lot where they're going. All right, and our final lesson, third lesson, is if you know the future, you cannot lose. And that sounds really, really obvious, where if you know something is coming, you can win. If you know how something's going to turn out, you can avoid it. But this movie, like I said, moves in a way that it still takes itself seriously while still having some comedy, but it definitely avoids the speechifying and forced loftiness of something like maybe like Pacific Rim or Independence Day, where this is about as lofty as the movie gets, where this is kind of an ongoing mantra that does come up, where every single piece of this effort that Tom Cruise's character is doing is to get to the point where when they know the future, they're going to win. And it's assured because they've figured it out. They've got that goal that they're fixated on with the mission, and these opportunities make them better when the time comes to actually deliver and get it right. Like I say in my review, it's not quite Sun Tzu's The Art of War in terms of speaking in metaphorical ways, but it's pretty close. Well, folks, we've come to the end of that. That's my take on The Edge of Tomorrow. My website, again, is Every Movie Has a Lesson.com. Thanks for listening to this. These are my ShowMe video classroom series. Edge of Tomorrow is playing in theaters right here this weekend. I hope you go enjoy it. I know we're coming up to the meat and potatoes of June here. I will warn you, I am away and out of town next weekend for my brother's wedding, so I will not be able to get to you a very quick review for 22 Jump Street or How to Train Your Dragon 2, but at some point I'll be back here and I'll get you another one of these lessons. In the meantime, enjoy the movies.